Most of us wait for the perfect moment, for things to fall into place, for clear skin, for divine timing. As I'm saying this, it's 3:33. And I've delayed this project so long, even today. Technically, this first episode is supposed to go public but private. And what I mean by this is I haven't really told anyone other than those who have been very, very, very close or accidentally within the vicinity. I don't want anyone to know about this. And why? I've promised this to myself more times than I can count and haven't fully followed through. And it's not like actions haven't been taken, but just the results haven't shown up. So I wanted to really just take a moment and do this for me, not anybody else. And I've tried different platforms, different recording. I have more episode ones recorded on my computer than I care to admit, and that the public may ever know or see or witness or get to hear. And I'm sitting here painting because that's the number one love of my life. It's painting. And so I said, why not do this authentically, creatively, imperfectly, and just share while I'm doing something I love, like get to combine everything I love into one experience. And wanted to just share my thoughts and record this episode as I was painting, which is wild. Never thought that would even be an option, but here we are. What if I did something like this? Wouldn't that be cute? So welcome to the podcast by Dunia Darwiche. And the reason why I called it the podcast is because for so long, I never found the right name or the right title. It's gone through so many iterations and logos and so many things. And I was thinking, I've been talking about doing this podcast for so long and just putting it together and bringing it to life. And why does it need the perfect name? Why can't it be called the podcast? Like the podcast that everybody has been waiting for me to put out, and by everyone, it sounds like an exaggeration, but so many have reached out saying, when are you going to start your own? And I'd love to hear it. And why don't you? And do you have a podcast? And so welcome to the podcast by Dunia Darwiche. So for those who don't know me and you're landing on this episode, my name is Dunia Elaine Darwiche. I go by Dunes. By my friends, I go by D. For some that are very, very close to me, I go by Dendune or Denduni by my family. And DD Bear. What will you hear about on this podcast? You'll definitely hear some phenomenal stories, some of my thought processes over some big topics like life, spirituality, mental health, faith, religion, transformation, death, grief, and all kinds of different therapeutic modalities and creativity. You will get to meet some of the phenomenal, mind-blowing, super, super talented practitioners and individuals that live within my realm and life, and that I've had the privilege of either working with or getting to know or getting to meet in this lifetime. And it's my privilege and absolute pleasure to be able to interview them and share these gifts and nuggets of these people with you all. And so I just took a couple notes, many, 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 many notes about this podcast over the years. And these are the most recent ones. And so part of this piece around this conversation, and I love that I'm holding a little paintball puddle for this. Got to stay on brand. So what I hope that you get out of this is a different perspective of life, and know that there are going to be opinions that may be contradictory to what you're used to, or what one episode may share from another episode on this podcast. And my invitation for you all is to stay open-minded and open-hearted and receive what feels good and leave what doesn't. This really is a creative exploration, an open conversation, a dialogue, and not a place where I hope any of us pretend to have the answers, but just an invitation into something new, a different way of seeing life. I love this piece around your dreams and goals will continue to whisper and sometimes scream and show up endlessly and continuously until you do. This podcast has showed up in my world more times than I can count. I remember journaling about this in 2018, 2019 in my journal in a coffee shop on St. John's in the West Island where I grew up. So for those who don't know, I grew up in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, in the West Island. I'm a Beaconsfield girl through and through. And I still live not far, and I'm blessed to be in the area. I still remember so many conversations with strangers, with people, with friends of friends, with family, and with some of the closest people in my life about this podcast. So it's going to make me emotional, but my voice has been one of my superpowers and my gifts in this lifetime. And it's also been something that I've been teased about many, many times. So I hear you and I see you. If, pursuing what you've always wanted is scary and has you hesitate, because there's nothing worse than being rejected for who you truly are versus, putting on a facade. Ooh. Expect tears and just an emotional invitation of vulnerability in these conversations. Yeah. So who am I? I am a mix of two completely different worlds. I am half Lebanese, a Southern Lebanese of Shia background, and I am half French Canadian, Franco-Ontarienne, and of a Catholic faith. So both of my worlds have two different faiths, and this has tainted very much my experience in being able to see two sides and being deeply empathetic and nuanced and love every part of the world, especially places and people and experiences that are very different, because they enrich what already feels very rich within me, which I am so blessed to say I had two parents from two different worlds love each other immensely and endlessly, and that love always wins. So may that be an exploration and invitation for you all. I am a mutt, a creative, an artist, an old soul, a lover of life and people, a creative and an intuitive. I am a coach and consultant, and I am a student of life and this journey and unfolding continuously. What will you experience and hear on this podcast? So much. And I don't know. I'm hoping that you get to experience or hear exactly what you need to at this time, or at the time you come across each and every episode. My intention is that this is a safe space where the world gets to experience itself from a different perspective, and just a spaghetti thrown at the wall experience of just trying and exploring and being courageous and creative. What are my fears with this podcast is, oh my God, one is like, oh my God, what if I'm inconsistent? But more than anything, what if the messages within this podcast are misunderstood or misinterpreted? Yeah. So at the same time, we cannot control how things are received. It is our duty and responsibility to put them out there regardless, courageously. My fear is it doesn't reach the ears of the person who really needs it most. And my hopes and dreams and visions for this is that I get to travel the world having these amazing conversations, and that these conversations outlive me and outlive the incredible people that I will have the privilege of having on here. Um, and that it gives someone out there just enough hope to keep going and to believe in themselves and their process. Yeah. Let me just start from the very beginning for a quick moment. I just giving you a heads up, I'm going to do this my way. It may not make sense, hence why it took so many years to do this. I've done things my way from the beginning. As my family, it's driven them absolutely crazy at times. And one day I was having lunch with a friend in Florida. A friend. I was in a conference. I was working, and then him and I went out for lunch. We were visiting together, and he was like, "What about this with the business? What about that with the business?" And just being super helpful and suggestive of all these opportunities or these ways of approaching things. And I was thinking, I'm stubborn as a mule. Anybody who knows me knows I have a mind of my own for sure. And as I was thinking, I was like, no, I've got to do this my own way. The piano player in the restaurant started playing My Way by Frank Sinatra. And I was like, what a moment from the universe. So let this be an exploration and an invitation for everyone to trust that really deep, rich, and incredibly wise intuition that lives within each and every one of us, no matter how many boats it rocks around us. Yeah, so even at the very beginning of my life, like I did things my way. I was supposed to be born a C-section, end of March 94. And the day of the C-section, I decided, nope, I am turning and coming out of your natural birth. And I ended up being born by fluke on my mom's birthday, April 1st, 94, a true Aries, a pioneer, a numerology 2810 on a first. For anyone who's into numerology, I'm like, there is a lot of pioneering energy in here. So yeah, and two worlds collided together, like, Middle Eastern background and a Western European background mixed all together in one. And like I said, fueled and deeply nurtured by an unbelievable abundance of love. Makes me a bit emotional. You will learn about my beautiful and sacred and incredibly transformative relationship to death and life, as I will take you guys all on a journey of the losses I've had to experience. I can't believe I'm going to publicize this. Most episodes will be in English, but some may be in French, just because I so want to share with you all some incredible individuals that are also French speaking, and some of the topics and themes, like I said, transformation, death, grief, spirituality, faith, divine intelligence. I remember years ago describing and defining this podcast as, demystifying life and just inviting people to realize that magic and the divine and God live in every single day all around us. And part of why I'm so vulnerable today is this project has been in the making for so long. And I've been through so much behind closed doors that I've never opened up about. And that's why I don't want anyone to know about these episodes until many of them are out. And I can't believe I'm going to post this. Scott Eisold, you are to blame in the most beautiful way. And I'm so grateful for you and our friendship. I'm immensely grateful to everyone who's encouraged me and supported me and just been an amazing support, an unconditional source of love throughout. I do want to put out the statement, you're going to hear all kinds of opinions and suggestions and my own experience. And really, this is for inspiration and entertainment purposes only. Just saying. And I want to put out this other statement. I don't have your answers. I don't know for you. I've only known for me. And the majority of the time, I feel like I don't know at all. And I'm inviting you into this process. It's been my process, my journey, my growth, my evolution, my exploration, my curiosity, and these conversations, adventures, and transformations. And so I'm inviting you all into my world, really, this like incredibly personal and vulnerable world. And I hope you get so much value out of it in whatever way you're meant to. And I will share with you my art throughout, which is like another incredibly vulnerable part of my life. Like wild. So I'm currently like painting as we're exploring all of this together. And you'll get to see my works as it's a yoga mat bag, as we have these conversations, and I will invite so many wonderful human beings to be part of this world with us. So welcome. Wow. Wild. And yeah, no promises. Just an invitation of welcome. Welcome without attachment. Welcome without pretending to know more than anybody else in the world. And yeah, may you receive exactly what you are meant to. And may it be for the greater good of you and whoever might need it in this moment. Oh yeah, and for anyone who's curious, who is Dunia? What does Dunia mean? Dunya means the world in Arabic. It means the universe. It means all living life. It means the material realm. It means the here and now, the imperfect. And yeah, I feel so privileged to have this name that was given by my dad. And yeah, and I feel an immense amount of responsibility holding and carrying this beautiful name. And I feel such a connection to it. And so welcome into my world. Welcome into my dunya. And thanks for joining. Thanks for participating. Thanks for being a part of this with me. And may you get everything that you need to receive from this. So our next episode, I will put a list of questions in a bowl and answer them about anything you might want to know about me, my story, my background, all of my training, and things that I believe in maybe at this stage. And they may evolve also. So I thought that could be a really fun way of doing this, and looking forward to it. Until then, all the best as always.